scrolling on YouTube the other day, and it came across my feed that there was a desert grown in 100 days in a tank. What? I'm sure you're asking that same question, and, you know, I don't know how to explain that to you. The title of this video is Simulating a Desert for 100 days. Now, is this guy really gonna be able to grow a full desert inside of a fish tank in 100 days? We're gonna figure it out. I'm not sure why he did it, but I'm down for the idea. The video was by Dr. Plants. Big shout out to him, and let's do it.
Within this tank lives a miniature world.
A miniature
there are predators
world.
and prey.
Oh.
Wind and rain.
Oh, he's simulating
this desert is a
everything.
dangerous place. But despite all odds,
Okay.
some animals have evolved to survive. It transformed from an empty wasteland to a thriving ecosystem.
Wow, really?
To understand
100
the
days?
mysteries within,
That's sick.
first, we must
Is that
go
glowing?
back to day one.
Oh, I'm hyped. If you
It
guys
all
are hyped,
started
scroll
when I
down,
got
hit
the
that
tank,
subscribe button.
Some materials, and a whole lot of cacti. I proceeded to mix up some dirt and then build up the substrate.
My boy
After
is
placing
building
in
a
some
desert.
rock, I began to plant the cacti. Ouch. Their spines are extremely sharp, and it was a huge pain to plant anything. I
That's
added in
crazy.
some final touches, and the tank was complete.
Okay, so day one, looking adorable. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was all gonna grow on its own. Now it makes more sense that he actually put that in there. But do you think we're gonna have some like bigger animals in this container by the end? Let me know in the comments, and let's get to it. I'm hyped. I'm hyped to see what's
This
gonna
will
be in
serve
here.
as the foundation for a thriving
That glowing
ecosystem.
scorpion? I kind of match
On
him right
day
now.
3, I introduced
Let's
the
go.
first animals.
What is that?
These are called isopods. As you can see,
Okay.
I have 2 varieties here, clowns and zebras. After I placed
Is that
them
what they're
in,
called?
they began to search for shelter. Alongside the isopods,
Oh, he's kind of
I
adorable.
introduced springtails and buffalo beetles.
Nah, those are too little.
These 2 detrivores will eat pretty much anything they can find.
Same.
All of these tiny
Same.
bugs will eventually be food for a future predator.
That thing is sick, dude. I wonder
By
if he's
day
shining a
50,
light on
the
it, though.
isopod population
Or if it's
began to
actually
boom.
glowing.
In the shaded areas of the tank, they would form small little herds. The juveniles looked almost
See,
identical
I used to call those
their
things
adult
roly-poly-olies.
counterpart. Here, you can
It could be a
even
different
see
animal,
one
though.
shedding its skin.
That's sick. Okay.
While the zebras were thriving, the clowns seemed to have disappeared entirely.
The clowns
On
died?
the other hand, the buffalo beetles were taking over.
Oh, here we go.
I placed a dead cockroach into the tank to
Ugh.
show just how many there were.
Oh my, the buffaloes are going to town on that
Soon,
man.
There
Oh,
was
my
nothing
goodness.
left but a hollow skeleton. They were running rampant, and I needed
That
a
is
predator.
crazy.
I needed something deadly, something fast, something almost as terrifying as my mother-in-law. Let me introduce
What?
you to the dune scorpion. He is a vicious predator and will make short work of a beetle or isopod.
The dune scorpion.
Do you see that tiny white drop on his stinger?
That's
well,
venom.
That is a potent venom, and I have to be extremely
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah, don't
I
be
picked
touching
him
on
up
him.
and prepared to place him into the tank.
I'm sorry. I'm not picking up anything that's got some venom on him, bro. Look at it just seeping out of there. For one, if that, I actually don't know. Maybe it's not enough to be able to hurt like a human, but for the bugs or whatever are in there, the insects, it's about to
picked
go
him
down.
up and prepared to place him into the tank. After a gentle love tap, he took his very first step into the new world. Scorpions are almost completely blind, so they don't use their eyes
I didn't
to
know
get
that.
around. Within just a few minutes, he managed to take down a buffalo beetle. With a full stomach, he began to search for a place to burrow.
Took down a whole beetle instantly.
After a few hours, his burrow was complete, and it just looked like an ordinary hole.
That's so
But
sick.
if we look underground, we can see it is so much more. It is his home.
I love that. So when is he gonna start glowing? That's my
He would
question.
spend most of his time here, but as day turned to night, he would emerge.
Ooh, nighttime is when he attacks.
Under ultraviolet light, he will glow a radioactive green.
That's sick, dude. So you just need ultraviolet light. My boy's shining with it. That's so sick.
On
What a
day
beautiful
60,
species.
I
Day
realized
60.
the scorpion wasn't going to be enough. The beetles were breeding faster than the scorpion could eat them. I needed to add competition. Meet the blue death feigning beetle. This is
What a
no
name.
ordinary bug. They have 3 superpowers. First off, they make their own sunscreen. This white powder on their shell will protect them from the desert sun.
That's
Secondly,
actually sick.
They have a huge abdomen to store water, kind of like a camel. They can last for ages without any water at all. But
they're
if
a cheat
predator
code.
tries to eat them, that's where its third superpower comes into play. They are indestructible.
What?
Their thick armor will protect them from sandstorms and strong desert winds.
Indestructible, can carry water. What was the first one? Handsome? Oh wait, that was me.
Into
Sorry.
the tank, and immediately,
Just kidding. I forgot the first
was
one.
making a fatal mistake. He
He's going
wandered
into the
towards
burrow.
Scorpion burrow, and then down inside.
He's going into
He
the
was
Joe
walking
Burrow?
towards his doom. There was a stalemate.
Hello?
The beetle
Get
made
out.
his move.
Why are you walking towards it, dude? Technically, if he's
He
indestructible,
tapped
it
the
doesn't matter.
scorpion And then retreated deeper into his burrow.
He's just
The
moving
scorpion
him?
gave the beetle a gentle push, and then made his journey back to the surface. That was a close call.
It was a little friendly interaction, you know, no big deal.
I decided to let them be overnight.
That's kind of... they're
As
kind
the
of
sun
friends.
began to rise,
I like it.
something extremely rare was about to happen. It was rainy season, and one of the few storms of the entire year was about to commence.
In the tank? Oh, let's go. Bro, that's so... I've said sick a million times, but that's so sick. He's got the full desert situation planned all the way out. The lightning? That's cool, man.
The tank began to flood.
He flooded the tank? What? Hey, yo! What's the scorpion about to do?
As the storm faded away, animals began to emerge.
Okay,
the
scorpion's
rain
cool.
brought new life to the desert landscape. This rose of Jericho opened its leaves after receiving water.
Beautiful. So beautiful.
By day 63, the water area was teeming
It's only been
with
3
life.
days?
Hundreds of tiny eggs that lay dormant in the sand began to hatch.
Of what?
The pond was swarming with these tiny white dots that were going to become something incredible.
How did it even get in there?
Meanwhile, on land,
What?
I figured it was time to introduce a new animal.
Okay.
Here is a Mexican jumping bean, and here are 30 more. These are not what they seem.
A jumping
After I
bean?
added them in, they began to dance. They seem to roll around mindlessly, but each one is on a mission.
I have
Find
never seen that in my
shelter.
life.
They jump to escape the desert heat. It didn't take long for them to huddle under whatever they could find. Now,
What?
inside every bean lives a caterpillar.
Oh,
One day, they
that
will
makes more
emerge
sense.
into a beautiful little moth.
Okay.
By day 72,
I thought it was just like a
life
little
in the water
acorn.
had grown substantially. These little white crustaceans are called fairy shrimp. They glide through the water,
Fairy shrimp,
filtering
nice
out
name.
whatever food they could find. In the shadows lived an animal much larger and less
What
delicate
is
than
that?
the fairy shrimp. Meet the triop.
He just looks deadly, bro. The
I
triop?
put one on my finger so you can get a sense of scale.
Oh, he's
They
not
look
that big.
Completely prehistoric.
They do, for real.
They look to be thriving now, but there is a problem. Every day, the water level got lower and lower.
Oh, so what are they gonna
The
do?
desert sun was quickly drying up their little pond.
He was totally just draining that, by the way. I don't think it was day by day.
On day 81, the pond was
I respect
almost
it, though.
dried up, but life was more active than ever. Many of the triops were carrying bundles of eggs and needed to find a safe place to lay them. Here,
But
you
the
can
water's
see a
about to
female
run out.
carefully digging her nest.
Oh, she is
She
in
will
the
lay
ground.
her eggs in this hole, and they won't hatch until the following rainy season.
Huh.
The fairy shrimp had also laid their eggs, and their life cycle was reaching the end.
This is so cool to watch. Let me know if you guys want to see another
Only a
one.
few
I think he has a
days
few.
later, the pond had dried up completely. The rose of Jericho had closed,
Back
and
down.
life seemed bare. But after closer inspection, you will notice hundreds of tiny eggs waiting for
Those
the
are
next time
eggs?
it rained. Life was booming, but it was time to introduce a new predator.
Another
This
one?
animal will easily find her way to the top of the food chain.
Oh, she's chopping.
Let me introduce you to the bearded dragon.
It's over with. What?
I'm just kidding. She's way too big for this tank.
That makes sense. So yeah, that was the end of that video, and that was a desert in 100 days. Maybe there was a part 2 or something like that. Let me know if you want to see another one of these. I will see you guys in the next video, though. Thank you for watching with me. I love ya. Goodbye.